నథింగ్ లైక్ దట్ చేస్తున్నాం. బట్ ఇది ట్యాగ్ ఇవన్నీ ఇది రెగ్యులర్ థింగ్స్. ట్యాగ్ అది ఇంకా ట్రై చేయలేదు. బట్
see, creating branches, creating files, checking out, everything is common. These all are actually the basic user also will know how to create branches, how to create files. Okay. Someone trying to join. Yeah. Okay. So the main work comes with the core part. When somebody want to, I want to check out in some specific commit, I want to see the difference between two commits, and I want to create some tags on my commits. Let's say, you may be creating tags or not, but definitely people will be reaching out to you for the help of creating tags or making their changes stash, and sometimes they want to pull the latest changes, they want to push the specific changes from specific branch. These all kinds of questions will come to you as a DevOps engineer. Why? Because the developers, they only know how to write the code. For suppose they want to write the code, they will create a file called program.cs or program.js. They will start the application, they will start the file, and they will start write the file code inside the file. But they don't know how to commit the file. They don't know how to push the changes to remote repository, and even they don't know how to create a separate branch in their local system itself. They will clone the code from the remote repository and they will start working. There you need to understand, you need to make them understand that don't work on this master repository. If you disturb anything inside this master repository, you will lose the entire code. Better you create a separate branch, do all your changes. I can help you to push the changes from your branch to master. Don't worry. And let me tell you guys, there will be always two masters. One is from your local, another one is from remote. There will be always two masters. One is from your local, another one is from remote. If there are any changes you have done in your local master, the changes need to be pushed to remote master. But as I said earlier, what happens is, even in your local also, team or maybe developers or management will suggest you to make the changes in separate branch. Even though you are cloning the repository from remote and you are getting the master to your local, that means there is a master in remote, there is a master in your local. Don't do the changes directly in the master branch. Create a separate branch. So creating separate branch is nothing but taking the entire copy of the code from master to another branch. The name itself says you are creating another branch, another place with the same code. So whatever modifications you are doing will not be there in master. They will be there in the separate branch only. That means your master is always clean and it is aligned with the remote master. If there are some files changed in master, where in remote master, then you can directly check out to your local master and git pull. It will bring all the changes from master. So this way you can have two masters and always try to work in separate branches. This is called git branching strategy. This is called git branching strategy. What are all the branches you are creating, and in which branch you are going to work, and finally which branch you are going to deploy into production. Okay, git branching strategy is very important topic. Definitely you will get an interview question. When you say that we are using Git in your organization, definitely they will ask you what is the branching strategy you are following. No. So generally what happens is, people will always have master, but from that master, what are all the different branches you are creating? Based on that only your branching strategy will be defined. Here if you see, let me go to the pages. You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I I told you, right? Today it is a little bit slow. So meanwhile, let me give you some tips. I want to create a file, but I want to perform the action from the Git bash window itself. Can anybody tell me what is the command?
Can you repeat the question, Rajesh?
Can you repeat once again?
You are breaking.
I want to create a file. Tell me the command.
Touch.
Yes.
Touch file name dot
If I give touch,
file name dot text.
yeah, touch.
File
No,
name.
if you want to create a text, sorry, stop. If you want to create a text file, then you can go for .txt. But leave about text file or any file. Just touch the file name.
File name.
For suppose my file, it will create the my file. It doesn't ask for it. See, it created my file. Okay. Now you maybe you are created. I mean, you created this file by mistake. Now you want to delete. So what is the command?
I think -d.
Just R.
Git rm,
RM the
Git
file.
rm space file name.
Yeah. Even without Git also it works. Certainly RM my file will work, but if you prefer Git RM, that's better. So Git RM. What's this?
Maybe you should add.
Right. So it's not added, we just created. We have not committed the change, right? That's the reason Git RM doesn't work. Now, if I go for Git branches, there are 3 branches. I want to rename a branch. Let's say I want to rename first branch to my branch. How can I do that? Maybe to make it simple, you want to make the changes to the branch names. How can I do that? So when you want to rename a branch, you should be checked out to that branch. So now I will do git checkout first branch. Now I'm in first branch. Now I want to rename this branch. In this case, git -m. Okay, -m means you are going to modify this name. -m, the new branch name. Okay, now I'm going to change first branch to my branch. Git to branch -m my branch. See, it got changed. Now if you go for branches, it shows master, my branch, second branch. Got it right? Now I want to delete this my branch. I want to delete this my branch. How can I do that? The command is
You want to first check
Git
out of the my branch.
-d.
First you need to check out of my branch.
See, it's not git checkout out of my branch. You should come out of. When you say checkout, that means you are entering into the branch. So don't use the word checkout again. You should check out into other branch. You are saying like that you should check out of your branch. It's a bit confusing.
Okay. I understand.
Okay. So when you are in my branch, the command to delete is git to branch -d, the branch name. But as I am in the same branch, it will not allow me to delete it. As I am already in the same branch, it will not allow me. So for that, I need to go to other branch. As I said, all the commands, master is the main branch. So if you want to perform any actions in other branches, you can perform by checking out to master. Now I am in master. Here if I perform the same action, git to branch -d and the branch name. What it is saying, there are some changes in your branch, those are not merged. Okay, the branch, my branch is not fully merged. If you want to sure delete, they are clearly saying, if you want to delete it without merging, just go for capital D. Just go for capital D. See, this is the best part of Git. If you are trying to delete some branch, even by mistake, it will tell you that there are some changes in my branch which are not there in master branch. Okay, there are some changes in my branch which are not there in master branch. That is the meaning of that. The branch, my branch is not fully merged. Not fully merged means the changes are not pushed into master. So, but you are trying to delete. Are you sure? Yes. Even though I have some changes, I want to delete. Yes. Now, if you go for git branch, there are only 2 branches. If you see this, even the deletion will be considered as a commit. If I go for git log -1 line, copy. Okay, so this is the last commit in the branch. But no, anyway, we don't have for my branch. We can't do anything now. Now I'm going for clear. So this is how you will create a file, delete a file. You can create a branch or rename a branch or delete a branch. These all are some simple commands which you need to be aware. Okay. And now I just want to give another command. So here I am getting almost 10 to 15 Okay, here I am getting almost 10 to 15 commits. As these are 10 to 15, it is easy for me. For suppose, let me go to here. If I git bash here, these are simple. I want something which has more commits. Yes, definitely this will have more commits. So if you see, I have many commits. These are still commits only. Commits. You see, I have many commits. So when you want to see the commits history, if you give just git log or git reflog, this is giving more data. Now you want to control this data. Okay, you want to get simple data. Then you can go for git log. Just give a number. Okay, one line. Just give a number. For suppose if I want to give only 5. So won't work in GitLab, but it works in Git reflog. So give 5. Just a second. So when you are in any doubt of the commands, you can give the command by adding dash hyphen help. It will open the entire command history. It's already opened here. It will open the entire command history. So this is all about git log. So how many ways you can use git log? These are all the extensions. Okay, so it's -n number. Now let me try. If git log -n and then 5, it is giving me only 5 commits, but there are many commits. The same works with the reflog also. Git -n, if I give 8, so it is giving me only 8. So this way you can limit the number of commits displayed. But if I go for normal reflog, there are plenty. This will kill your time. So when you want to see only specific commits, you can. And the same way it works. Git log, you can see here, after date, before date, you can specify the date format also. For suppose, I think I'm not sure. Let me take, these are on January 29th, January 27th. What I will do, I will take git log before Let me take this date format. It is something like so the date format should be quotes. Is it year or before? Right. So if you see, I am saying before 20 means the dates which are before 20. So they are, even though I have some commits here, if you see January 29th, but it is displaying the latest commits from January 5th only. That means before 20th, January 5th, January 4th, December 31st. These are the commits before. But if I go for git log after, okay, git log after 20, 21, 01, 25 Jan. That means 26th, 27th, somewhere around. Yeah, there are very less. What's happening? I again given before only, yeah. Sorry. Oh, here only, like after. And if you see 29, oh, okay, well, there are only two commits. The window itself I got confused. There are only two commits after 25th January. There are only two commits. The results are only two. This way, you can differentiate the commits. You can limit the commit number. You can differentiate the commit number. This is how you will see. Even the history can be abstracted as per the requirement. It may be only 5, it may be only 10, or it may be from some date to some date. These are kinds of things. And I am saying you, whenever you are in confusion in with git commits, the only command you need to run is git command. Okay, git, for suppose if you are confusion in git commit hyphen help. Okay, if you are confusion with git branch hyphen help. So it will give you all the instructions how to use those commands and the extensions to the commands. Everything will be displayed here. Whenever you get time, run this help command and go through this page. You will see most of the things easy. Okay. Now my concept is here. Yes. Yeah. So if you see this image, the time travels from here to here. Okay, the time travels from here to here. Now what happens is there will be a master branch. Okay, there will be a master branch, but people won't work on this master branch. They will create a branch called development. Okay, they will create a branch called development. Inside the development branch, they will start working. They will work only in development branch. They won't work in master branch. Why? Because master branch is the major copy, main copy. If you disturb any files, if someone deletes by mistake, we already seen, even if you delete repository by mistake, the retrieving process is very difficult. That's the reason even management or organization, they will not ask you or they will not allow you to work in master branch. Whenever there is a branch created, please create a separate branch for your work. Don't work in the main branch or master branch. So what they are doing, if you see the arrow marks clearly displayed. First they created a master branch, and from master they create developer. Inside the development branch, they are working on different things. Here this is a one change, another change. But when they created this change, they want to develop two separate features. They want to develop two separate features. Those are called feature branches. Okay, they created from this area, from this branch, they created two branches, 1, 2. Let's take this is feature 1, this is feature 2. And whoever working on this main development, they are continuing their work. If you see, they are continuing their work. And whoever working on these features, they are continuing their work. You see, after this 1, 2, there are 2 commits. Even in the features also, after the feature, there are 1, 2, 3 commits. Okay, take this image. After 2 commits, this feature completed. They are okay. They said my feature was done. Now what you can do? They can push the changes to development branch. They can push. That means they are merging their changes. Whatever changes they are done in this feature branch, they merged. You already seen. Once you merge the changes, you can delete the branches. If you remember, yesterday or day before yesterday, we have seen pull request class, where you are merging our changes from one branch to other branch. Once you merge the changes, you are good to delete the branch. Why we need to delete? Let me tell you, GitHub is only free for public purposes. It's not free for private purposes. Okay, even in GitHub, maybe you are getting confused. No, it's okay. So the GitHub repository, if you go to GitHub repository, I will show you something here. Here, if you are creating public repositories, okay, if you are creating public repositories, it is free. There is no size limit, there is no work limit. But if you are creating private repositories, there are some limitations. There are some size limitations, there are some commit or users limitations. Generally what happens, organizations will always create private repositories only. So when you are creating private repositories, for suppose if you have 100 members team, if 100 members, it's not sure that they will create only one branch for each. Obviously they will create multiple branches. Even if you see our case only, or suppose if I take this other window, how many branches I have here? I have 4 branches. Master branch, first branch, second branch. For single user, I have 4 branches. In the same way, if multiple users create multiple branches, the branch count goes more. Then obviously it will create a problem space-wise. That's the reason when you merge your changes, you are good to delete the branches. So here, once I merge the changes, I can delete this. But if you see this below above branch, they are not merged here. They are keep on working. 1, 2, 3, 4 commits. Later they are merging here. They merged here. Again, from here, from this commit, they created another branch. They merged here. And the above branch also they merged here. Finally, the development is done. This is like last commit. Assume all these dots are a commits only. Commits means there are multiple changes and they committing those changes into the repository. So this way, they will be creating multiple branches. One is master, another one is develop, and remaining all are feature branches, release branches. Okay. We are understanding what is master branch and what is development branch. And even we got idea what is feature branches. Whenever they want to work on separate features or specific features, they can go ahead and create separate feature branches. But if they want to release those changes, okay, if they want to release those changes to production environment or any other environments, then they don't want to disturb these branches. Then they don't want to take these branches to the production environment. See, generally, olden days, if you remember, building and deploying is kind of activity where you need to copy the code and paste into build servers, release servers, and then production servers. The same way here also, we are not going to build this development branch or feature branch. We will create a separate release branch. There, if you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 commits, including these 3 commits from feature branch also. 1, 2, 3. 6 plus 3. All these 9 commits will be there in release branch. Now this release branch will be deployed into production environment. They won't get the feature branch, they won't take the development branch, and even they won't take the master branch also. They will only take the release branch. So even in release branch also, if there are some issue comes, they will work on this. See, in release branch, they created another commit, another commit, another commit. Now there are 4 commits in release branch. That means after deploying into production environment or test environment, we found some issues and we fixed them. They are clearly saying only bug fixes. They fixed them. Here they feel that the entire application is running fine. That means if there are any issues, those issues are fixed here. This code is very good. If someone wants to work on this code, they need to take this code to their branches. When you feel that this code is very good, obviously you need to send this code to master also. Why? Because master has some old code. If you see here, master has some old code, but that old code is not right. In between, we got some issues, we fixed those issues. In such cases, you need to send this code to master branch and share the same code with the development team also. You can tell them, hey man, after releasing, we found some issues. There we fixed those issues with extra commits. Now, if you take this code to your development branch, you will get these extra commits, 1, 2, 3. After releasing also, the development team keep on working. They have an extra commit, but obviously this commit will be there. So this commit will be here and these 4 commits also will be here. Now in this place, they have everything ready. They have clear code. They continued their working. They got another change. They released, when the release is working fine, then they release the same to master. So this is called Git branching strategy. If you attend any interviews, obviously they will ask you a question, what is the Git strategy you are following? What is the Git branching strategy you are following? Then you can say, we are following Git flow. This is called Git flow. Okay, this is called Git flow. We are following Git flow. We will have a master branch where no one will work on this. This master branch is only for making a separate copy, keeping a safe copy. Everybody will work on development branch. Even we don't deploy this development branch, for deployment purpose, we will create separate branch called release branch. And in my team, in development team, if there are any new features they want to work, they will create separate feature branches. This is how the time flows. Initially, you will have one branch, then keep on, you will create multiple branches. These all are multiple commits within the branches. So this is called Git branching strategy. Okay, generally there are 3 kinds of branching strategies are there. One is Git flow, another one is Git hub flow, then another one is TBD. Git flow means you are creating multiple branches like feature branches, release branches, development branches, master branches. When you go to Git hub flow, okay, when you go to Git hub flow, then there will be only development branch and master branch. Other people will be working on this development branch only, and they will be deploying those changes to master. And only this development branch only going to be deployed. Okay, when you go to GitHub flow, you will have only 2 branches. One is working branch, another one is master branch. But where if you see here, there are multiple branches. You can't say that people are working only on this branch. No, people will be working on multiple branches. A developer from development team will be working on release, and the same developer from development team will be working on feature. That means a single user can be working on multiple features. Multiple branches. But whereas in GitHub flow, you will have one master branch and there will be another branch, only 2 branches. Whatever changes happens in the second branch, they need to be merged with first branch. And the second branch will be used to deploy the changes. This is GitHub flow, Git flow and GitHub flow. And the other one is TBD, that means trunk based development. TBD, trunk based development. So trunk based development means there will be only one branch, nothing but master, but they call this master branch as trunk. మనం పాతకాలంలో ట్రంక్ పెట్టి అంటుంటాం కదా అలాగా. సో ట్రంక్ బేస్డ్ డెవలప్మెంట్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ బి ఇన్ సింగిల్ బ్రాంచ్. అది రిలీజ్ అయినా, డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అయినా, ఫీచర్ అయినా, ఏదైనా కానీ దే విల్ బి వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ద సేమ్ బ్రాంచ్. But trunk based development is not widely used because you are going to have only one branch. If something goes wrong, then everything is gone. But there are some people, I mean, there are some organizations where they prefer only TBD. Why? Because they don't want to have multiple branches. Even if you see, in my case, I have here 4 branches. When you say there is separate branch means obviously the code is different from the master. When you say separate branch, obviously the code is different from master. So organizations don't want to have multiple copies of the code. They want everything in one place. In such cases, they will prefer TBD, trunk-based developments. But the famous branching strategies are Git flow and GitHub flow only, where you will have multiple branches to work on. If you are working on feature, go for feature branch. If you are working on release, go for release branch. Or if you are working on only development, you are not going to release. For suppose your development will go for 1 year, then you are not going to release anything. Then just keep on working in development branch only. But when you want to release, keep the development copy safe, create a release branch, and give the release branch to deployment engineers or DevOps engineers. This is how you will have Git branching strategy. So now this image was This image was available in this website. This guy explained very clearly a successful Git branching model. You will see here you will see the differences. Here if you see, there are multiple branches, feature branch, development branch, release branch, multiple branches. But here comes inside the user may have multiple branches, but the user will be merging all the changes into one branch. Here also the user may have multiple branches, all the merges, and then another. See, there are only 2 branches, master and develop. Only master and develop, no other branches. And then this is feature branches, we already got idea. I think he has not defined TBD. Yeah, no TBD, but TBD is generally famous. Some people will use TBD also. I am giving this URL in the chart. Better go through this. It will help you a lot in understanding branching strategies. Even the article was very good. The best part of this article was you can download this article as a PDF. If you see, this branching model can be downloaded as a PDF. If you don't have time and if you don't have internet, go to this website and download this as a PDF and read the PDF. It will help you a lot. Okay. Now, yesterday I told you there are multiple things that can be happened through this Git bash window, but sometimes you will be got a requirement to work in Azure repos only. Now what happens if I go to manage repositories? Okay, manage repositories. Just now we spoken about what if someone by mistake delete the branches. For suppose if I am in this repository, okay. Just a second. It should be manage branches. Yeah, got it. So now if I go for repositories and inside this, just a second guys, sorry. Yeah, when I'm talking about branches, I need to go to branches. Here I have 3 branches. One is master, another one is first branch, another one is second branch. If you see, by default master will be the major branch. That's the reason they have a tag called default. And when master is a default branch, whenever you create separate branches, obviously you want to compare your branches with master. Why? Because master is the major branch. Master will be getting the latest changes and other people will be pushing their changes to master only. They won't push their changes to your branch. For suppose if you create a separate branch called Rajesh branch, if you want to compare that whether you have all the latest files or not, you need to compare with master only. Why? Because master will always have latest changes. That's the reason it has default branch. It has default tag and compare tag. But in some cases, what happens is people don't want to disturb master. They want to keep other branch as a default branch and some other branch as a compare branch. In such cases, you can come to this branches section and you can go here. Here you will see set as default branch. If you go for master branch, obviously these are disabled. Why? Because it's already default branch. It's already compare branch. So that's the reason if you go to other branch options, you can set this as default branch. You can set this as compare branch. If you set this as default branch, okay, see, now the tags came here. Now everybody will be comparing with second branch. Even the master also will compare with second branch only. But it's always good to have master as a default branch only. Okay. Now you know how to make this as default and how to make it compare. But what if someone want to delete? So in such cases, you want to safeguard, you want to secure these branches. As I am admin, okay, as I am admin, I can lock these branches. I can lock these branches. When you lock these branches, other people will not get the delete branch option. If you see, I am getting delete branch option. When you lock this, other people will not get this delete branch option. This way you can secure your branches. This way you can secure your branches. Now this is unlocked. Lock, unlock. And from here itself, you go to all the menu options, you can see. New branch, you can create new branch. You can create new pull request in this branch. You can delete this branch. If you click on view files, that will go to files, this view. It will go to files view. If you click on history, it will show the commits. That will go to this page. If you click on files, it will go to here. If you click on history, it will go to commits. Then compare branches. Obviously, if you click on compare, it will be comparing with master. Okay. When you click on compare, it will be comparing with master. That means how many commits are there in master, how many files are there in master, which are not there in master and some are in first branch. These kinds of comparisons will happen. Then you already know what is compare branch, what is default branch. Then lock means securing your branch. And then branch security. This is something like giving user permissions. Giving user permissions. If you see on this branch, the persons who are already part of this group, this concept will be clearly understood by people who are already working. But if you are fresher, just get to know what is this concept. If you are already part of this group, you will obviously get these permissions. If you are not part of this group, then I need to add you separately. See, if you see here, I added Rajesh separately, Srikanth separately. That means Rajesh has some permissions. All allow, only first two are not set. Srikanth also, some not set, some allow. That means these two users has two different permissions. And see this group, project demo build service group, they don't have any permissions. Everything is not set. But when you go for project administrators group, they will have more major permissions like contribute, edit, manage, remove. See, remove logs. If you are part of administrators group, you will get a lock option. But if you are not part of, or suppose if you see these users, demo users, they can't set locks. Why? Because they don't have permissions. This is like giving permissions to other people or giving permissions to other groups directly. If they want to get those permissions, they just need to join these groups. No need to add separate users. This way you can secure your branches. You can lock, you can make compare. And the final one is branch policies. Branch policies are very, very important. You will understand why we are keeping branch policies when you are going through pipelines concept. In pipelines concept, branch policies will work majorly. What are branch policies? When you create a branch, you don't want to allow people to do whatever they want. See, if you remember, just a second, again you came back to here. See, in this branch, just a second. Here what you can do, you can give permissions to people, okay? You can give permissions to people in branch security, you can lock branches without delay. But even though you have given permissions to some people, but still you want, you make the people control. I mean, you don't want those people to do whatever they want. It's not like that, okay, as a given access to you, you can do anything you want. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So even the people has full access on the branch, you can control them by keeping some branch policies. Even the users has full access on the branch, you can control their usage, you can control their actions by keeping some branch policies. See, when you are creating a pull request, obviously you need some number of reviewers. Pull request, can anybody tell me what is the purpose of pull request?
To bring
To merge the
local
changes into the master branch from local to remote or remote to remote.
See,
want to-
no. Local to remote, there is nothing to do with pull request.
to bring changes from
yeah.
remote to local.
No. Only it happens in remote to remote. Pull request.
No. You are getting confused with the remote option. See, pull request will be only used in Azure repos, not in your local repos. Okay, obviously Azure repos means remote only, but don't use remote word when you are saying
Remote
about pull
word.
request.
Yes. Got it.
Okay, pull request is used to merge changes from one branch to other branch. Pull request is used to merge changes from one branch to other branch. You can directly go for merge operation. Why pull request is needed? Because if you are not sure about your changes, submit those changes through a pull request. Then someone will review your changes and they will allow you to merge the changes. Okay, pull request can be raised or created only in Azure repos. You can't create pull request from Git Bash window. Okay, Git Bash is something like your local. You can't perform, you can't create pull request. But if something is created pull request here, then obviously your Git Bash window also will restrict you. Obviously your Git Bash window also will restrict you. So here, when you are creating a pull request, it will ask for minimum number of requests, minimum number of reviewers, if you enable this policy. Okay. And when you are creating pull request, who asked you to create pull request? Definitely there should be some work item on your name. So if you enable this policy, it will ask for the work item. When you are creating a pull request, definitely there should be a work item on your name. Without work item, why are you creating pull request? So in such cases, if you enable this policy, it will ask for work item. If there is no work item, it won't allow you to submit a pull request. Then check for comment resolutions. Once you create the pull request, the reviewer will review your changes and he will give you some comments. Maybe these changes are not good. These changes are good, but you need to make some more changes. These kinds of comments they will give. Without closing the comments or without resolving the comments, you can't merge the pull request. If you enable this policy, you should close or you should resolve the comments. I will show you all this when we are working in pipelines. In pipelines, you will see these changes. How can you submit a comment? How can you resolve this comment? And then merge types. I already shown you there are how many merge types are there? If you remember, we have seen these merge types while completing the pull request.
2 merge types.
Okay. Anyone? There are 4 merge types. There are 4 merge types. Okay, basic merge, squash merge, rebase with fast forward, rebase with merge commit. Okay. If you remember, I showed you while completing the pull request, I showed you there are 4 merge types. You can limit those merge types. You don't want to give all the merge types to the end user. If you disable these merge types, while completing the pull request, they will see only one merge type. Okay. So these are all the branch policies on branch. Now you can have extra validations like build validation, status check, automatically include reviewers. These are all additional policies. You will see all while working in pipelines. Why branch policies are important? Because of branch policies only you will be making the right build choices. You are not going to build the entire code, or you are not going to build unnecessary changes. You are going to build specific branches, not all the branches. These all concepts will be covered in pipelines concept. Okay. So, and coming to these two, obviously you will not be seeing these two in your repositories. So you will be getting confused. How come these came? These are added from extensions. I shown you there is a marketplace. Go for marketplace. Inside the marketplace, see, you want some extensions for repos, right? Then there is a separate section for repos. If you go down, see, this is for Azure Artifacts, this is for Azure Boards, this is for pipelines, and I have Azure repos. Okay, here you are seeing pull request dashboard, right? Pull request dashboard. This is the one I added here. Pull request dashboard. What is the purpose of pull request dashboard? It will show me the clear view of my pull requests. How many completed, how many closed, how many cancelled. These all things can be visible here. Let me go to some other project where I have multiple pull requests. So in this I have pull requests. And I'm telling you these extensions will be added at your organization level, not your project level. If you see, I changed the project. Earlier I am in project demo, now I am in sample project. If I go to repos, obviously I will see those changes. Extensions are added at organization level, not at project level. Someone will, they may ask you the same question in the interview. I want to add an extension to a specific branch. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But when you add an extension to a specific branch, that is accessible to, specific project. When you add an extension in a specific project, that is available to other projects as well. Why? Because the extensions are added at organization level, not at project level. Okay. Now, if you see,
But normally, Rajesh, are you able to
yes.
hear? See, for the access related, these all can be taken by admin, right? What are the access needed for the employees in the group? Only a
If
lead
you
has
if,
that.
if you remember my demo class, what I used to tell to the organizations, my advice was first recruit DevOps engineer.
Yeah.
If you have DevOps engineer in your team, you don't need an admin separately.
Mm-hmm.
See, generally in market, what happening is DevOps engineer is only for CI/CD pipelines.
Mm.
That's clearly wrong assumption. I don't allow it. Why? Why? Just only for, if you see, if you ask me CI/CD pipelines, then this is the section.
Yes.
Here I can tell you what is CA and what is CD, how CI/CD pipeline works. But that is not the case. When you say that you have knowledge in Azure DevOps, you should know knowledge in every aspect. It's not like that I will log in into Azure DevOps portal and I will directly go to pipeline section. I don't know anything about boards, overview, repos, wiki pages, dashboards. Then how can you say that you are Azure DevOps engineer?
Okay.
See, Azure DevOps is an excellent and wonderful tool. Everything is available within Azure DevOps itself. If you want to write a code, go for repos. If you want to track work, go for boards. If you want to display something your team, go for dashboards. And if you want to share something with the team, go for wiki pages. Other than pipelines, there is a lot of things available in Azure DevOps. But people will always be in this assumption that, okay, Azure DevOps is only for pipelines. Let me go for build a pipeline. Let me create release pipeline. No, man. If you want to only pipeline, go for Jenkins. Jenkins is better for only pipelines, and that is free. Okay, here you can see the extensions. If you want Azure Repos extensions, see more. You will see all the extensions. Let's say if I want to add an extension. If you want to add an extension. My mobile data, it's very slow today. See, if I want to have PR templates, okay, if I want to have PR templates, these are something like pull request templates. If I want to get it free, this is free. So when I click on get it free, it will ask me to select my organization only. It won't ask you to select your specific project. Let it go to the next page. See, here it is clearly showing my user ID, rajeshkumar.mugdamsetti, and it is asking to select your organization. It's not asking to select project. So if you are part of multiple organizations, then it will be displayed multiple organizations. So that means you can add your extension at organization level, not at project level. So if you add this extension at in your organization, this extension will be available in all the projects. If you go for my organization, there are multiple projects, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are almost 6 to 7 projects. The extension will be available in all the projects. This is how you will use extensions. Okay. Closing repos concept, guys. From tomorrow, you will be entering into pipelines. So tomorrow morning, I will ask you questions in all the aspects. It may be repos, it may be boards, it may be dashboards. I will ask you questions. I don't want to go to pipelines. Pipelines is a major concept. That is very important concept. Without having knowledge on this, if you go to see, if you see here, if I go for last 7 days, there are nothing. If I go for last 30 days, there are 49%, 38%. These are all things you should know from repos, boards, and dashboards only. Without knowing this,
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, sorry. I'm saying with this, I'm closing the repos concept. Tomorrow we'll be entering into pipelines. But before starting pipelines, I will ask some questions. What are all the services we covered until now? Okay?
Yeah, sure.